By the procession, by our invited guests, and also the guests of honors and the Vice Chancellor and the Vice Chancellors invited from different institutions. They are going to start, they will come from behind, and you may rise, may clap as they are coming. Thank you. As you remain standing, let's start with the national anthem. You may be seated, and the mess may be seated. Thank you. Madam Chancellor, Your Excellency, Honorable Minister, Allow me to recognize our distinguished guests for today. Here we have the representative from HEC, which is the Higher Education Council of Rwanda, Mr. Theodore Dusabimana. We also have the Vice Chancellor of Rwanda Polytechnic, Dr. Sylvie Muccio. We also have the Vice Chancellor of African Leadership University, Dr. Ngagwa Twala. We also have our Vice Chancellor of Rwanda Institute for Conservation and Agriculture, Dr. Elisegun Adedayo Yerokun. We also have the University of Global Health Equity Deputy Vice Chancellor of Academics, Abebe Bekele. And we all have the Deputy Vice Chancellor for Academics of Adventist University of Central Africa, Professor Theogene Niyonzima. And we happy also to have the AIMS Innovation and Research Center representative, Laura Leon Wizirwe, and many other distinguished guests, all protocol observed. And here I am, Dr. Emmeline Unozagasana, and I'm honored to be your MC for today. Thank you. As we start, I would like to welcome Professor Bailey for his welcoming speech, the Vice Chancellor of Kepler College.
Honorable Claudette Herrere, Minister of State for Education, Her Excellency Monica Geingos, Chancellor of Kepler College, Ambassador Charles Murugande, Chairperson of the Council of Kepler College, Nathalie Munyampenda, CEO of Kepler, fellow Vice Chancellor, Deputy Vice Chancellor, invited guests, students, staff, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for joining today as we mark a historic milestone in the journey of Kepler College. It is a profound honor to welcome Her Excellency Monica Geingos as a founding Chancellor of Kepler College. Your leadership inspire our entire community. We deeply value your wealth of experience, vision, wisdom you bring to this role. On this special occasion, I would like to share a quote from Her Excellency Monica Geingos that profoundly resonates with our student. Here is the quote, I quote, "One thing you should be conscious about is ethics. It is not something you do here, don't do there." End the quote. She shared this powerful message with the students in Namibia in 2017 during a meeting organized by the Ministry of Higher Education, Training and Innovation. Her words are a powerful reminders that ethics, integrity, professionalism are not situational. They must be ingrained in every aspect of our life. A student's academic integrity, honesty, conduct in the school reflect the kind of professional they will become. This is a lesson. This lesson is valuable for our students as they cultivate the transformational habits that define their future success. We are truly excited about the opportunity to learn from your leadership, Your Excellency, as we navigate the evolving landscape of higher education in our region. Now, let me say about Kepler College. Kepler College is a non-profit private institution of higher education launched by Kepler in 2022 to expand its impact on young Africans. Our mission is to provide job-driven, competency-based education at the intersection of digital technology, business, and management preparing students for success in modern workforce. Currently, we serve 1,267 students across a diverse range of undergraduate programs, including our impactful partnership with Southern New Hampshire University. Additionally, through our proven upskilling program in partnership with Rwanda Polytechnic, thank you for the Vice Chancellor, we have served 2,260 students and bridged their education to work transition gaps, and 85% of the trainees secured gainful employment within a year of graduation. Further expanding our academic offering, we are now accepting application for master's program in 5 disciplines through our innovative partnership with Arizona State University. Our academic programs are carefully designed based on reliable labor market research to align industry needs and aspiration of underserved youth, whom we aim to empower with the skill and knowledge necessary for successful career transition. To ensure our students graduate with in-demand skills and stand out in the job market, our curriculum follows a structured, competency-based 3-year approach. Year 1, a student develops foundational transferable competencies such as communication, professionalism, critical thinking, problem solving, and digital literacy, regardless of their chosen field. Year 2, they acquire industry-relevant competency in their area of specialization. Year 3, a student engage in industrial attachment, gaining hand-on experience and preparing for workforce. This placement provides valuable opportunity to apply their skill acquired during their education. This learning by doing pedagogy has yielded exceptional employment outcome, with 90% of our graduates securing job within 6 months of graduation. Looking to the future, as we move forward, we remain committed to equip students with knowledge and skill and opportunities that they need to strive in a global job market. We are also actively exploring new pathways and partnerships to scale our impact and serve more youth across the region. Under the visionary leadership of the founding Chancellor, Kepler has an exciting opportunity to expand its reach and drive meaningful changes in higher education. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me again in welcoming and celebrating our founding Vice Chancellor, Her Excellency Monica Geingos. Please. Thank you. I now want to present a short bio, very short, of Monica Geingos, our founding Vice Chancellor. Monica Geingos is a qualified lawyer with over 20 years of experience in financial sector, including senior roles in capital market, corporate finance, and private equity. She was awarded the National Honor, Most Distinguished Order of Namibia by the former President Pohamba for her outstanding contribution to socio-economic development of Namibia. She was inducted into Namibia Business Hall of Fame and received numerous awards, such as Namibia Business Personality of the Year and the Most Innovative Entrepreneur. Her Excellency Monica served as the third First Lady of the Republic of Namibia from March 2015 to February 2024. Before assuming the role of the First Lady in 2015, she was a co-shareholder and managing director of Namibia's largest private equity fund for over a decade. During this time, she served on the board of large public and private sector companies as either a chairperson or deputy chairperson. During her extensive corporate experience, she was a long-standing member of high-level Policy Advisory Board, such as the President Economic Advisory Council, the governing party think tank, the National Council of Namibia, Chamber of Commerce and Industry, with a mandate to advise national policy formulation and implementation. During her tenure as a First Lady, Monica combined her high-level corporate expertise with President Geingos' war on poverty and inequality. Through the One Economy Foundation, Monica initiated numerous programs focused on sustainably lifting vulnerable population out of poverty traps. One aims to sustainably lift people out of poverty traps and ensure fair access to opportunity. Over the past 9 years, one has taken key learning from Be Free movement and institutionalized them into Project Be Free, a one-stop youth center that provide a holistic, youth-friendly health services. Monica served as a president of the Organization of African First Lady for the Development from June 2022 to February 2024. During her tenure, she spearheaded the inception of We Are Equal campaign aimed at advocating for gender equity in Africa. In terms of her current obligation, Her Excellency Monica is the co-chair of the Global Council Inequality, AIDS, and Pandemic, which create policy environment for addressing inequality linked to AIDS and pandemics. Additionally, Her Excellency Monica is the chairperson of the Africa Reach Leadership Council as an initiative to create a new action agenda around ending AIDS in children and youth in Africa. She serves on the following entity: Monrovia-based Ellen Johnson Sirleaf Presidential Center for Women, and also Development Director and California-based Women Lift Health. She is also a Leadership Council member of Concordia, a New York-based nonprofit that builds global partnership for social impact. Concordia draws its leadership from former government leaders, policy experts, and industry leaders. Her Excellency Monica is committed to utilize her institutional and strategical experience in Africa public and private sector to influence institutional change, support women, young people on their leadership paths. Now, I invite Professor Ambassador Charles Murugande to officially appoint Monica Geingos as the founding Chancellor of Kepler College and present her with official instrument for the role. Ambassador.
Your Excellency, Madame Monica Geingos, in accordance with the relevant provisions of the law determining the organization of education in Rwanda and the Kepler College Statute, and in recognition of your acceptance of this esteemed appointment, it is my honor and privilege to formally confer upon you the powers, rights, and privileges of the office of Chancellor of Kepler College. To signify your installation and acceptance of this distinguished role, I now have the pleasure to officially hand over the instruments of the Chancellor's role.
The college mess symbolizes the university's authority and governance. The college mess symbolizes the university's authority and governance. And here's the college seal, which represents the institution's authority, history, and heritage. And here we have the college flag, which symbolizes pride, unity, and community for students, faculty, staff, and alumni.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct honor and privilege to present to you the Chancellor of Kepler College, Her Excellency Monica Geingos.
Thank you very much, and good morning, Honorable Minister of State for Education, our Chairperson, Ambassador Charles, our CEO, Natalie, our Vice Chancellor, Professor Bailey, and the visiting Vice Chancellor, our distinguished guests, and of course all the students in the room. It's such an incredible honor and a privilege to stand in front of you today. I heard it in Professor Bailey's speech, and you're going to hear it throughout my speech, that education is the most powerful weapon we can wield to reshape our future. And the world as we know it is changing at a fast pace. And the future isn't coming. It's here. And it demands a new kind of African leader. And today, as Kepler's inaugural Chancellor, I stand in front of you as a strong believer in the unstoppable force of African youth and the urgency of equipping our young people with the tools to reshape our future, because we have no more time. Given that the past always provides a map to the future, we can reflect on Rwanda's journey from ashes to excellence, which teaches us an important lesson. A people who own their narrative control their destiny. And when His Excellency President Kagame says, quote, "We must do what is right for our country and not what pleases outsiders," end quote, he isn't just speaking policy. He's declaring intellectual sovereignty. And that same sovereignty must define African education. We must do what is right for our continent. And this is the power of narrative. You become the story you tell of yourself. And this is why it's important to sidestep outdated hierarchies. A hungry mind in a small university will always outlearn a complacent mind in a marble-walled institution. Our size as Kepler is our strength, nimble, disruptive, and laser-focused on what works. Kepler proves that the best education belongs to those who do not subscribe to self-limiting narratives. The proof, 95% of our graduates find meaningful employment within 6 months of graduation. I, however, do not believe that Kepler is only here to create employees. We're here to forge architects of African solutions. Leadership isn't about titles. It's about the courage to fix what is broken. And whether it's on your social media handle, in a classroom, on a basketball court, or in a refugee camp, every Kepler student is being trained to ask, if not me, then who? Who must fix our continent, if not you? Who will be our leaders, if not you? Education is power, and power is relational. It's no longer about the country with the strongest GDP or the strongest army. It's about how you wield power and the narrative you attach to it. That is the story of Rwanda, and that is the story of Kepler, a small university that is becoming increasingly powerful by the story it tells and the outcomes it shows. Kepler is not just an institution of learning. It's a training ground for the next generation of ethical and transformational African leaders. Real power flows from education that transforms mindsets. And that's why Kepler intentionally reaches across divides and across the continent. The girl from Kigali and the boy from a refugee camp must both be able to see themselves as Africa's next problem solvers. Our continent needs leaders at all levels. While the dream is Pan-African, the plan is local. And by removing barriers, Kepler can and will disrupt how we look at ourselves and how we look at education, because great minds exist everywhere. Kepler's intentional embrace of students from all walks of life, including refugee communities, indicates the ability of education to catalyze social mobility and economic development. The continent is in dire need of this type of quality and accessible education that equips our youth with critical thinking skills, innovative mindsets, and the ethical foundation necessary to address our continent's multifaceted and cascading challenges. With a mission to prepare young Africans with global competencies and the mindset to resolve local challenges, Kepler College is well positioned to transform the lives of youth across the continent. I'm excited to start engaging in conversations with you, the students, faculty, governments, employers, partners, and other stakeholders on ways to extend this transformational model throughout the continent to ensure that every young African has access to education that doesn't just inform, but transforms. This model works, which is why it needs to be scaled so more young Africans can access it. Leadership is not confined to corporate boardrooms or government offices, because leadership is not a position, it's action. So let us build a university whose story is about imparting knowledge, shaping mindsets, and inspiring action. The clock is ticking, so let's get to work. Thank you very much for your attention.
I believe that's not enough applause for this wonderful speech. Thank you, Your Excellency, Madam Chancellor, the founding Chancellor of Kepler College. Thank you. Now we are going to invite remarks from a distinguished guest, the Honorable State Minister, Claudette Direre.
Your Excellency, Madam Monica Geingos, the founding Chancellor of Kepler College, distinguished leaders of Kepler College and Kepler, faculty, students, and the Kepler community, and the Vice Chancellors here present. Good morning once again. It is a great privilege to join you for this occasion, the inauguration of Her Excellency Monica Geingos as the founding Chancellor of Kepler College. On behalf of the Government of Rwanda and the Ministry of Education, I extend my heartfelt congratulations to Kepler College and to Her Excellency on this significant milestone. Education is the foundation of Rwanda's progress and a key driver of our national development. Our vision for higher education is anchored in innovation, inclusivity, and a firm commitment to equipping young people with the knowledge and the skills they need to thrive in every changing global landscape. Institutions like Kepler College are instrumental in realizing this vision by delivering competency-based learning and fostering a strong culture of job readiness. And as we celebrate this important step forward, we're also reminded that higher education must continue to evolve to meet the needs of both learners and the labor market. Rwanda has made remarkable strides in expanding access to quality education, and we remain committed to deepening partnerships between academia, industry, and government. Kepler College's motto is closely aligned with these priorities, and we commend its unwavering dedication to preparing graduates with the first 21st century skills. The appointment of Her Excellency Monica Geingos as founding chancellor marks an exciting new chapter for Kepler College. Her extensive experience, passion for education, and advocacy for youth empowerment will no doubt propel this institution to new heights. We're confident that under her leadership, Kepler College will continue to nurture graduates who not only achieve academic excellence, but also contribute meaningfully to Rwanda and Africa's socioeconomic transformation. To the students of Kepler College, your time here is about more than earning a degree. It is a journey of growth, leadership, and purpose. Rwanda is counting on you to use your education to become the leaders, innovators, and change makers of tomorrow. Your contributions will help shape a more prosperous, inclusive, and resilient future for our nation. Once again, congratulations to Kepler College and to Her Excellency Monica Geingos. The Ministry of Education remains a committed partner in strengthening our higher education system and ensuring our youth are well prepared for the challenges and opportunities ahead. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Madam Chancellor, Your Excellency, I believe you've been around at Kepler and you have seen, but we have not seen it all. And we still have some surprise, which is the way we express our culture through dance. That's what you are going to see today, and I hope you enjoy. We welcome our students' cultural troupe, dance troupe, for the entertainment. Thank you.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Dore ko yiriwe yibo. Oh, yeah. Ikanisha kabagera. Oh, yeah. Ijo sonyi zoga boga 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 boga. turagushyigikiye
turagukunda we
ingobyi duhetse horana intsinzi turagushyigikiye
twese tukurerembe Rwanda we
ingobyi duhetse horana intsinzi turagushyigikiye
twigabe ku munini
iwacu korushe nguhuza iminega muze duhaze umwana dahogora inasugira sagambe we rama oh yeah rama oh yeah rama oh yeah rama twigabe ku munini iwacu korushe ngoze menego muze duhaze umwana dahogora inasugira sagambe we rama oh yeah rama oh yeah rama oh yeah rama twigabe ku munini iwacu kwarushe ngoze menega muze duhaze umwana dahogora nasugira sagambe we ramba oh yeah ramba oh yeah ramba oh yeah ramba oh yeah ramba twigabe ku munini iwacu kwarushe nguze iminega muze duhaze umwana dahogora nasugira sagambe we ramba iye abagore beza nawe iye abagore beza abagore beza n'abamagana bwekoremo mu byemase iye bagore beza bagore beza nawe aho twataranye ntaragomba mbere mana byotse bukomere iye bagore beza iye bagore beza nawe hose ngeze ntwara bandeze wabore iye bagore beza iye bagore beza nawe ariko mose ngo tegeye Rwanda rehe iye bagore beza iye bagore beza nawe aho twatarabye ntarugo twezera bari badukatesha igitaramo mu ngera y'u Rwanda rehe iye bagore beza imboni z'amatara iyo nikundira amarirwa makuru yego
twatarabye bakwize bino bashyize gororwa mu cyane ngira bare bone banyu basangira aho twatarabye ntarugo bareza makuza ahubwo re
yego koje rurina niko rwemera kurinda uwicu muri buze urugamba gukirana arite kutegereza izina rye rw'amakuza kuba umwara wa nyamizi imanyerwa amagaju induhu rivuze kabiri nice kabago kantamba ese nyamihibwa mwiza irwanira
iyo ni ruhame bahungu mwe rego mwe nta rubanya kugira imana
yego komereza kuza utabagisha
naho ni wanyu mbariza makuza
nabanje databuja yaje yitwaje umurongo wananiye abaswa ababaji bawugize neza bawusezekanye inkindi ku mubiri iyo abakiwukoza mino cyaraporo ageza ku nkiko y'igituga kaburwa n'inkarura mugurura rirekera ese nyamihibwa mwiza irwani
mbakunda musobetse nk'amaboko nkunda ibitego byanyu bahungu mwe yego kore aho ni iwanyu rero
naze cyari weziri kotari amaraza bakuza
ahubwo rero
Thank you. Torero murakoze. Your Excellency, Madam Chancellor, Honorable Minister, we are now going to this moment students have been waiting for. So, Your Excellency, Madam Chancellor, welcome to the Fireside Chat, Chancellor, with the students. We have the Student Guild and let us welcome CEO Natalie Munyamenza to invite the students for this event. Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. So to make sure that you are proceeding with the entertainment we just gave you, it was good entertainment, yes? Hasn't our troupe improved? Yes, I'm very impressed. Before we get started with the Fireside Chat with Her Excellency and our students, I wanted you to stand and stretch. Just one stretch. It's not a conversation with your neighbor. Stand up and stretch left and right, front and back, and then have a seat again. Are we good at following instructions? Okay, let's do left, right, front, back if you can. Can we do it again? Left, right, front, and back if you can. All right, have a seat. Yes. No. Okay. I'm getting instructions from Emmeline, so I have to respect her instructions. Okay. So I'm going to start with one question, Your Excellency, if you don't mind. And then we're going to give it to the students, right? Very good. One of the things, the reason we did this is because we think you are a big deal. I personally think you're a big deal. And we're very honored that you accepted our request to be our Chancellor. So I have a question in my conversations with you over the last day, is you have had a lot of leadership roles very, very young. People don't understand what it means to list companies on the stock market, but you are basically the boss of people trying to get on the stock market. And you've run a very big private equity company, which is the biggest and the largest private equity company in Namibia. You've had many roles, chairpersons of boards, but all this happened very young. You also married, have children, all these things happening at the same time. But I want to come back to what is the mindset. You talk a lot about attitude and mindset. What is, because here we talk about skills a lot. They're working on their skills. They're working on the English, they're working on their computer skills, they're working on their technical skills. But what is important about attitude and mindset when you're trying to start a job, keep a job, and even be a good citizen? What is it about mindset and attitude that is important?
I got very worried, Natalie, when you were making students stretch before you started asking me questions, because I thought I must be the one who's going to be chased around here.
I'm going to switch with you because I want them to hear you.
It's not loud enough. Thank you. I got very worried when you guys started to stretch before questions started to come. But when you asked the question about having been assigned leadership roles young, we have a tendency, especially as women, to say I was the first woman to be a listings executive at the Namibian Stock Exchange. I was the first to do corporate finance, but in my context, it's probably not the first woman, it was the only. So it was the only first shareholder of a private equity fund, the only managing director of a private equity fund, because there wasn't one before us. The only female chairperson of a commercially registered digital bank, which we subsequently sold. So sometimes men would come to me and say, oh, but the girl child is so lucky to have you. They have a lot to learn. And I would be like, no, you also have a lot to learn from me because there's no one else to learn from on this issue. So sometimes start from where you are. Don't wait for paths that are already walked. Walk your own path. Take some risks in your career. And being the youngest, sometimes it affected me, but often not, because when you look at yourself as the youngest, you'll start acting like that. So I didn't see myself as the youngest, so I didn't act as such. And people treat you the way that you act. So you define how people should and should be looking at you, and what you do around those responsibilities. So if I go around thinking people are racist towards me because I'm black, or they're being misogynistic to me because I'm a woman, or they're looking down on me because I'm young, or because I'm from a small country, if that's what I'm seeing, that's what I'll experience. So sometimes you need to rise above what I refer to in my speeches as self-limiting belief systems.
So you're saying don't limit yourself. But the comment we get often from employers is that our students are overconfident. Sibyo? So how do you avoid self-limiting but maintain a humility or self-awareness of both your strengths and your weaknesses?
It's a balance. It's a balance of knowing when to speak and when to keep quiet. But it's also a balance of knowing, even though I'm quiet, and because I'm managing the perception of maybe overconfidence, is not to fall into that trap of believing there's a problem in being overconfident. There's a problem in being arrogant, but not a problem in being confident. And as a mother of both boys and girls, my only job was to make sure that the world didn't shrink the confidence of my children. Because it's one thing we're very, very good at doing as societies. It's shrinking one another's confidence. So if you look around your friends and there's somebody always trying to make you feel smaller, get rid of that person. So I'm glad you're not at an institution that tries to shrink your confidence. Manage the arrogance, manage the ego, but always protect your confidence.
Last question before the students get to ask their question. We're in the 21st century. Things are changing literally overnight. What do you think are some of the skills that our students need to keep in mind to be successful in the future?
So I'll address the 21st century question just now. What struck me is what you said about things change overnight. And I want to tell you from my own perspective, and that's why I spoke about leadership. It doesn't matter about title, because titles go. Positions change, people disappear. And I'll tell you, my husband and I were so looking forward to getting out of the presidency and going into retirement. We were looking forward to it. We had a plan. He got diagnosed in January, mid-January, with pancreatic cancer. Within 3 weeks, he was gone. It's the first time we lost an incumbent president. None of us expected it to happen. It was a terminal diagnosis, but we expected just a little bit more time. We did not know we had 3 weeks. On the day he passed, I stopped being a first lady and I started being a widow. So things change faster than you can ever imagine. A year later, I'm a former first lady. I don't have a single investigation into me around ethical conduct. I don't have problems. And the reason I don't have problems is, even though I didn't expect for that journey to end when it ended, I did expect it to end at some point. So sometimes how you travel your journey is going to determine how it ends and what happens to you after it's ended. So move, act with integrity at all times, because things change. One day you're an honorable minister of education, the next day you're not. The one day you're a first lady, the next day you're not. The one day you were a minister of 4 portfolios, the next day you retired and you're sitting next to me. So things change. And the world is changing. as Natalie says. And I think the skills that you need in a changing world, I think the most important one is resilience. It's really a mindset that isn't antagonized or disrupted by change. You must become the disruptors. I think resilience, accepting change and figuring out how to move with it, and understanding the skills that are now needed in a changing world. I'm glad there wasn't Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever you guys are using, because I would be scared of the views I had as a student popping up now. So I don't have to go and scrub my social media presence when I become something else.
Yes.
You guys must be very careful in this world where you're recording everything, where you are articulating every view that you have, because I'm sure many of you, when you saw this inauguration today, the first thing, what did you do about me? You went to Google me. So whatever's on the internet becomes my digital footprint. And that's how people decide who and what you are. So be careful of the digital footprints that you're creating today, because it will affect your tomorrow. So some of the tools that are important for the 21st century for us to succeed are the same tools that will be our downfall. So resilience to me.
It's really important. Very good. So you're a student, you have a question, raise your hand very quickly and I'll come to you. But I know that there was one that had been sent in earlier from Ocean. Where's Ocean? Are you here? She's there. Where's the mic? Give her the mic quickly.
Thank you. Your Excellency, Chancellor Geingos, my name is Ocean. As someone who has seen firsthand the potential of education to transform lives, what is your message to Kepler College students about using their education not just for personal growth, but for broader societal development? Thank you.
How do we use education to transform society? What can young students do?
You transform societies by sharing what you know with those who don't have access to what you have. So I think that's a simple and quick answer, is that we all come from somewhere. We all have people who don't have access to what we have access to. And because education is power, you use power to enable others to be where you are. We must expand the circle and the network of knowledge. So that's how you transform societies.
You know, most of our students feel like, I'm just barely getting here. I can't even afford my tuition, and I wanna be rich first. That's the comment we get the most from our students. I'm doing this to be rich and take care of my family. What's my responsibility to society? We have peace where, you know, there are other people like the ministers, there are young people who are leaders. It's their job to get things done. What is my responsibility when I'm barely making it? I want to get a job to take care of myself and my family as a priority. Why am I obligated to give back to society?
Yeah, so this I used to hear from my son when he was small. The first thing he once told me is he's going to work very, very hard so he can buy me a house. And once he's bought me a house, he's going to tell me, this is my house, my rules. So he didn't want to buy me a house for the right reasons. He wanted to buy me a house so he could control me the way he thought I was controlling him. But he also had this view that he wants to become rich. And I said, that's fine. But there's a path that you need to walk in order to become rich. And that path, you can't avoid education. So wanting to be rich one day is not the problem. It's deciding on the path that you are prepared to walk in order to get there. So that's your destination. Figure out your journey. So how do you get to the wealth? And are you only measuring wealth in terms of financial wealth? And I'll use my own example. Before I became a First Lady, I ran a big private equity fund, managing third-party capital. My only concern was financial returns for the investors whose money I managed. As First Lady, I had to change that around. I could access money, but now I had to focus on social returns. And now that I've seen the level and the scale of structural social problems,
and I'm no longer First Lady, I have a temptation to go back to the financial sector, but I can't, because you can't unsee certain things. So I'm stuck here in social development, because social issues will ultimately compromise financial development and advancement. And part of my challenge, Honorable Minister, and I'm glad you asked me this question in front of students, is that many students, because they want wealth, only want to think about going into the private sector. But let me challenge you on that. Government, the state, solves our most complex problems for most of our people. So we need our best brains in government. But all of us want to run to the private sector. Who are we leaving behind in government? The minister doesn't sit here because she doesn't have the same qualifications that you have. She sits here because she's driven by passion for service, and all of these vice chancellors behind me. So we must be driven by service, because we don't better our societies if all of us pursue money. Politics decide who gets what, when. So you need politicians, you need technocrats who know exactly what to do in order to make the right decisions. So I really challenge some of you. If you want to see changes in your societies, you must think about careers, the public sector.
Great. There's a question at the back. There's a hand up. Keep it brief. You know how we work at Kepler.
Your Excellency, Madam Chancellor, my name is Marius Cavin. As someone who has been deeply involved in empowering women, I wanted to ask, as Kepler College students, what can we do during our studies here and after our studies? How can we support the women in our communities?
That's a great question. And I get asked this question a lot from people who are saying what, and I'll paraphrase your question. Lots of people ask me, what is it that I can do to help strengthen society? And the answer is the same in relation to women. I've got two answers for you. The first one is, as young men, the most important thing is when you start families, if you start families, to be present fathers to your children. Because issues of fatherlessness break families, they break societies, they break communities. The second thing that I would say to young men as well, in terms of empowering women, is there's a lot, and I don't know if those are the statistics in Rwanda, but I know across the continent, gender-based violence is too high. And it's often a microcosm of high levels of societal violence. And on university campuses, gender-based violence, particularly sexual violence, is a problem. And the trauma that sexual violence inflicts on girls, young women, and women in general is life. And this untreated trauma has economic consequences in relation to the productivity of women who've been harmed or children who've been harmed. So a way for me to encourage society to protect women, especially on campuses, is to speak out against gender-based violence. It's to really speak out against sexual violence and making sure that we don't have generations of young women who have untreated trauma based on these type of experiences. Because sometimes these things that happen to us in our homes, they impact our academic outcomes, they impact our productivity, they impact our ability to be functional and constructive members of society.
So a lot of these young men are going to be managers of women. Can you give them one tip on being a great, ally in the workplace? One tip to these young men who will be managed. most of them here are trying to jump and be CEO in the next 2 years. But before they become CEO, they have to become a manager. How can they give them one tip? How can they be a great ally in the workplace to the women who work for them?
So I need to brag. 2 weeks ago, we inaugurated the second female president on the continent.
Yes.
And almost immediately, she appointed a female vice president, 65% female cabinet. And she's not apologetic. She is basing it on skill, on capability. And now people are asking, but why are you, as president, appointing a female vice president? That feels unfair. And these are questions being asked in a country that for 35 years has only had male presidents and male vice presidents. So what I can say to men who want to be allies is that there's likely one day that you're going to have a female boss. And it's to really see each other. When I speak about equality between men and women, when I speak about 50-50, I'm not talking about a mathematical calculation. I'm married, therefore I cook today, my husband must cook tomorrow. That's not equality, that's not 50-50. Equality is really just understanding that this person in front of me is a human being just like I am, and is deserving of the same opportunities and dignity and respect that I am deserving of. It doesn't mean you need to start learning how to cook or clean or do things that you believe need to be done by women. All it means is to see another human being with the same capacity, with the same potential as you. And that's all you need to do in order to be a male ally. It's really just to see the next person, whether it's a woman or a man, as equal to you, as a human being. Because with human beings, I don't believe anybody's better than anybody else. And it's not a gender thing, it's a humanity thing.
Great. We have one question here. We'll take 2 questions if there are 2 hands, and then we'll wrap it up.
Thank you. Your Excellency Chancellor Geingos, my name is Eunice, and I would love to take you a little bit behind. You talked about your experience in the finance field, and you also advised us to have careers that we engage in, but most Kepler students, as I am, we would like to become business people and have our own things. So, according to what you told us, and according to our dreams, what the practical steps would you suggest that we take to manage our finances, to effectively start our business, and also impact everybody around us in the public sector and the private sector at once? Thank you.
I want to give 2 pieces of advice. I know it will sound contradictory. Because public sector, particularly at political level, is unpredictable, it's always good to go in there with things that people can't take away from you. A degree is key to this. Nobody can take away your qualification. Integrity is key to this. Nobody can take away your integrity. And a little bit of money that you earned honestly is also key to this, because you can basically lose your job the next day and you need to be able to live. So it's true, but try and build a balance sheet before you go into public sector. I'm certainly at the place now where I feel things change. There was a time in my life when I was your age where money was important to me. It's not important to me anymore. What's important to me is a cohesive society. You ask what you should do as a business person to grow capital and manage money. I want you to start doing it now. Even if you don't have a lot, you need to be a prudent manager of your money now. Because the wrong mindset to money doesn't change. I know people, whether you give this person $100, $10,000, $100,000, they are going to mismanage it because their mindset is wrong. So it's to develop the right mindset. And managing money is like, us who like to lose weight, it's mathematical. You must spend less than what you use. So that's the mindset you need to develop now as a student with the little that you have, and that's the same mindset that you'll need as a business person. It's being not frugal, but being wise in the type of financial decisions that you make.
Great. Last question. Does anybody have a last question? There's someone there?
Your Excellency, Chancellor Geingos, I am Doris Keza, and my question is, would you mind painting for us a picture of what your life was like before becoming First Lady? And what was your career experience? What was your experience as an investment banker before you became First Lady? And last but not least, any tips for fresh graduates or even students at large who are about to step into the real world? Thank you.
Okay. Picture of 20 years.
Yeah, that's, it's difficult because I don't think about that. I graduated from a smallish university. I was given a government loan. And when I started asking my friends about, when we finished, about repayment, everybody laughed at me and said, what are you talking about? Nobody repays these damn government loans. And I subscribed to that. I said, okay, fine, if nobody's paying, I'm also not paying. And as I started seeing that my career is progressing quite fast, and the fact that I had studied law, and the fact that I had realized and partly decided I'll become successful, I'm ashamed to admit it. I didn't go back and pay my government loan because it was the right thing to do. I went back and paid it because I thought, if I do become successful, this issue is going to embarrass me. So I went back and I paid it, and everybody laughed at me. But within a year of becoming First Lady, there was a newspaper article saying that they are going to name and shame everybody who hasn't paid their student loans. And that is a lesson I tell students all the time. The decisions you make today will follow you one day when you do become successful. So I was relatively young, as Natalie said. What shaped me was sometimes it's important to observe power. So I sat in boardrooms, I was the youngest, and I had some great ideas, and I would articulate them, somebody else would articulate the same idea, then it becomes a fantastic idea because it was said by somebody else. This is life. So sometimes I realized in order to make myself valuable to this team, I will be the person who makes sure the work gets done so that there can be no convening without me. The first question they'll ask is, where is Monica? So I made myself valuable in that context, where I knew a board meeting, nothing could happen without me because I became the doer of the directors. So that's how you make yourself valuable on a team. So when there's things that need to be done, you automatically become part of that. As my career started to progress, as we started to do bigger and bigger things, politicians took an interest in my career. Then I started getting appointed by the former president, the one before my husband. I got appointed to the Public Office Bearers Commission, where we determined the salaries of politicians. I got appointed to the President's Economic Advisory Council, because senior people look for people who've succeeded on their own and have done something. There's a body of work that you can point to that you succeeded at without the assistance of anybody. Then there was an assumption, because of the way I speak English, that I must come from a wealthy family. I don't. I still don't. What I come from is a family that believed in education, and my father literally moved to a mining town that provided free education and had very strong early childhood development. And then my father did what I talked to you earlier. He focused on being a present father, protecting the confidence of his daughters. He had 5 of us and only 1 boy. I think I was supposed to be a boy. He kept on trying for more boys, but he was unlucky. Me and a few more girls came. But he protected our confidence. He made sure we had good education, particularly early childhood development. And this is what you need to do for your own children when you have children. So, and then things from my childhood helped me manage the stress of being in high pressure environments before I became First Lady. Like sports. I was quite a good sports person. I was a seeded squash player. I ran. I did everything. And I used sports and gym as a way of managing my stress, managing my health, because you don't always have time to make healthy lifestyle decisions. And sports helped me just to get my mind right. So all of this collides pre-First Lady because it shaped who I am, but it also shaped the type of First Lady that I became. Because in all the roles that I played, I earned my titles. First Lady was the first time I got a title that I didn't earn. It was by marrying someone. That all of a sudden I had all this social capital. And there was one young girl who ran up to me one day and said, oh, I also want to be a First Lady just like you. I said, no, please, aspire to be a president. Don't aspire to marry the right person. Aspire to have the right career. So who I was before I became First Lady was instrumental in the type of First Lady that I became, because I didn't have a complex. I didn't have an inferiority complex. But I did have a challenge in understanding I've got the social capital, this unearned privilege that I didn't earn. So what do you do with any kind of capital? You must spend it. So I spent mine on having difficult conversations and really pushing the envelope on difficult issues in the country. So who you are before you became a student and a graduate is going to be very important in determining what kind of leader you'll become in the future.
Thank you so much. Like I said, she's a big deal, right? Yes. I want to just say before we close, and Ambassador Murigande comes to speak, if you have any final words for our students. I think there is a lot of anxiety with the world today. They're anxious individually about their future. Will they find a job? Will they make it? Will they even finish Kepler? Because there's a lot of not yets happening. You talked about resilience. Resilience is the ability to survive whatever transformation or change is happening. Any final words for our students?
In the context of uncertainty, of an uncertain world, of uncertain lives, I want to share with you what helped me to not go mad in the last year. The first one is establishing a routine. You can't, and my children, if they're watching, are going to be angry with me, but you can't be in your room until noon, 1 o'clock, and then 2 o'clock you're playing video games. There must be a routine. Even if you have nothing to do, even if you are waiting to get employed, you must establish a routine. That was very important for me. The second important thing for me was exercise. And I know with youth unemployment, you are going to find a moment where you are in between studies, in between finishing your studies and getting a job. You must look after your mental health. The third thing that was important for me is not to use a crutch to cope with whatever I'm going through. So no alcohol, no drugs, no sleeping pills, nothing that can become addictive and become a negative coping mechanism. And then the fourth is just to remind yourself, life is unfair. And to take things day by day. If I had to, last year, try and figure out where I would be this time this year, I would have gone mad. I literally took things day by day. If today was a good day and people asked me, how is your day? I would say, I'm having an incredible day. Today, I'm really having an incredible day. But if I wake up tomorrow and I'm having a bad day, and someone asks me, how's your day? I'll tell them, I'm having a really bad day. Having a bad day doesn't mean you have a bad life. It just means you have a bad day. So take things day by day. That will be my parting words.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. Thank you so much. Can I invite Ambassador Murigande to close us out? Thank you.
Honorable Madame Claudette Irere, Minister of State for Education, Your Excellency, Madame Monica Geingos, Chancellor of Kepler College, Madame Nathalie Mnyamenda, CEO of Kepler. Kepler is the founder of Kepler College. Vice Chancellors and Deputy Vice Chancellors, including my former colleague Françoise, who is seated there, Vice Chancellor of University of Rwanda, distinguished guests, students, staff of Kepler College, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I just checked if we were still in the morning. On behalf of the Governance Council, I extend our sincere gratitude to all of you for joining us in celebrating this momentous milestone, that is the inauguration of our first Chancellor, Her Excellency, Madame Monica Geingos. Our special thanks go to the Honorable Minister of State for Education for sparing time out of her busy schedule to be with us today. For us, your presence is another demonstration of the unwavering support that Kepler College has enjoyed and continues to enjoy from your ministry ever since we applied for accreditation. Please accept our deepest gratitude to you and the entire staff of the Ministry of Education, especially the staff of Higher Education Council, for their steadfast guidance throughout the process of accreditation of Kepler College and its various academic programs. On behalf of the Governance Council of Kepler College, I would like to take this opportunity to express our sincere gratitude to the founding Chancellor, Her Excellency Monica Geingos, for accepting to take on this esteemed role at Kepler College. Your wealth of experience and unwavering commitment to education make you an ideal and invaluable leader for our institution. It is with great enthusiasm that the entire Council of Kepler College unanimously endorsed your appointment. I do hope that you will be visiting this institution as often as possible, not only for the graduation, but whenever you get an opportunity, please come and interact with our community. I'm sure all of us here were privileged to listen to your wise counsel. The Council eagerly anticipates your wisdom and guidance as we shape the strategic direction and the key the key initiatives of Kepler College. We are dedicated to supporting the college in its mission to provide innovative, job-driven higher education that equips young people in the region with skills they need to thrive. The college's impressive track record, boasting a 90% employment rate within 6 months of graduation, is a testament to its impact and effectiveness. I take this opportunity to thank our esteemed management leadership, faculty, staff, and students for their dedication and resilience to drive success. As we look to the future, Kepler College is poised to scale its transformational higher education model. Our goal is to ensure that quality education remains accessible, affordable, and scalable. 3 objectives that seem a bit contradictory, but with dedication and innovation and adaptability, these 3 objectives can be achieved. I don't like to read speech using these things. Sometimes they, they misbehave. To realize this vision, we rely on the unwavering support and collaboration of all our college's internal and external stakeholders. Most of them are here represented. Your commitment and contributions are essential as we work together to expand educational opportunity and shape the future of higher education in our country and in our region. On this special occasion, I extend a heartfelt invitation to all the stakeholders to actively engage with Kepler College as we embark on this exciting journey. Once again, thank you all for joining us today for this historic moment in the life of our young institution. May God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Another round of applause to Professor Muligande. After the closing remarks, there's nothing else. But before we proceed with the recession, we would like to have some group photo. We are going to start with one photo with Your Excellency, Madam Chancellor, the Honorable Minister, Professor Charles Muligande, Professor Bailey, and Natalie. Would you put it in front? So we start with we'll then be having the DVCs and the VCs, the invited guests, to join for a group photo. We'd like also to have the DVC of UR to join, and the director of Agahozo Shalom. May you please join the picture. And can we also have Patrici, the State Minister? Can you join the picture? can go to the steps. Yes. May we have the Students' Guild of Kepler College. Please come forward and the students. Thank you, Vice Chancellors. Thank you, DVCs. Wait, students. Can we have the students, student guilds joining the picture? Some can come here behind on the stairs. Please do. Thank you. As the students are joining their seats, we are going to proceed with the recession. Vice Chancellors, DVCs, will you proceed? As we started with the procession, we are going to have Madam Chancellor, Your Excellency, to start the procession, and Celestin, the protocol, yes. Others, you may stay in your seats, but you may stand up maybe for a round of applause for the recession. Thank you all very much.